Good morning students. In this video, we will talk about JDBC, the most important concept of Java application, that is Java database connectivity. Usually we all are familiar with Java applications, but in some situations we need to store the data processed by our Java applications. Processed data means the output of our Java applications. In that situations, we can use the file system of Java. It is with the core Java application, that is, it is with JDBC. But we all know that it is not efficient or it is not sufficient to store all the data processed by our Java applications. Here comes the importance of JDBC, that is Java database connectivity, the most important application of Java programming. For this, before going to JDBC, we should know how to develop basic Java applications, and also we should aware about DBMS servers. So we can move on to the topic JDBC, that is Java database connectivity. Actually, JDBC is an API, that means application program interface. It provides all the features and all the classes interface necessary to communicate with a JDBC. So we can define JDBC as a standard API which provide a database independent connectivity between Java applications and Java database program. For example, see this figure, we have Java program, we have DBMS. So we need something in between to connect between this Java and DBMS. So we are using JDBC, that is Java database connectivity. That means JDBC API provides an effective communication between our Java application and the DBMS server. I already told you that it is an API. That means it consists of lots of classes, lots of interfaces and lots of methods. By using these methods and interface, we can easily connect Java with DBMS server. The important thing is that we don't aware about the DBMS, that is we can use any type of DBMS. Actually, JDBC provides a database independent connectivity between Java application and JDBC. We can go through the JDBC packages. Actually, JDBC API consists of one important package. It is called java.sql package. So, if you want to use JDBC in our program, we should import this package java.sql.star. This consists of lots of interfaces, classes and methods which provide necessary communication between Java and DBMS. So, the main classes of JDBC API is DriverManager, driver, connection, statement, result set and SQL exceptions. Other than this, lots of methods are available. These are the important classes and interface. By using these classes and interface, we can easily communicate with the JDBC, with the DBMS and Java application program. Now we can move on to the architecture of JDBC. See this architecture. Actually, it mainly consists of a DBMS and Java applications. We can see in this figure, there is lots of classes and interface like result set, statements, connection, driver manager, driver and JDBC driver. Actually, JDBC stand in between this Java application and DBMS server, and it provides the necessary communication between these two platforms. So we can move on to the next topic, that is we need to study details, what are the classes or interfaces necessary for making this connection an easy one. For this, first we need to handle driver manager. It is the most important class in JDBC API. The name suggests it is a driver manager, that is it needs to manage all the underlying drivers. Actually, JDBC provides database independent connectivity. So each database requires a separate driver. And the duty of database driver manager is to choose the specific database driver specified by the Java applications. This is the task of the driver manager, that is this class manages a list of database driver. We can see the figure. It accepts the connection request from Java applications and it passes this connection request to the appropriate JDBC drivers. Next one is driver. Actually, it is an interface. It handle the communication between database server. This driver is specific to specific database. So in order to connect with a JDBC driver, we need to select a separate driver for separate database software. Next one is a method called connection. Actually, we need a path between Java program and JDBC. Actually, this connection object create this path. This handle the communication between Java and DBMS. So connection object represent a communication. So that means all the communication between the Java programming and DBMS is by this connection objects. Another important interface is statement. That is, the object of the statement interface is used to execute the SQL query. We all are familiar with SQL queries, but we need a mechanism to execute this query in our DBMS. So this statement object will do the task for us. Next one is result set. That means after executing the queries, we will get some data. It might be in the form of table, it might be in the form of integer, or it might be a boolean. Anything it should be stored in some separate objects. That is, result set is an object that handles the result coming from the DBMS and pass this result to our Java application program. Another important class is SQL exception. We can accept errors at any time because we are connecting to the DBMS. So there might be chances for there is wrong password or there is wrong DBMS or wrong table like that. So exceptions there is a chance for exceptions. So we should call Java SQL exception object to handle all the exceptions occur during this Java DBMS connection. I will recap. We have 7 important classes and interface in JDBC API, that is driver manager. It handles the communication between driver and the JDBC. Then driver, connection object will handle the path between these two platforms. Then statement object, it will execute the query. The next one is result set. It will hold the result of the SQL query and all the errors will be handled by SQL exceptions. Next, we can move on to another topic, how to create JDBC applications. That's the most important one. Actually, if you want to connect between Java programming language and DBMS, we should follow a certain steps. That means there is a 7 steps. If we follow these steps sequentially, we will get the connection established. For this creating the database connection, first task is we need to import the package. I have already told you that in JDBC API, it uses a package called java.sql.star. So in order to get the connection, we should import this package. So the first step for creating JDBC application is to import the package java.sql.star. Next, we need to register the JDBC driver. Actually, this driver is specific to specific DBMS. So we should choose the DBMS driver. So for this, we need to register our JDBC driver with our Java application program. For this purpose, JDBC uses a method called forName, that is class.forName. I will show the syntax. This is the syntax of forName method. In this method, we are passing one string, that is class name. This class name is the vendor provided name. By using this name, the JDBC application can connect to the DBMS server. So in order to register the JDBC driver, we should use the method class.forName. In this method, we should give the name of the class. That means the name of the driver class as the parameter. Actually, this name is depending on the vendor. So we should copy that name and put into this method. For example, see this example, class.forName com.mysql.jdbc driver. Actually, this is the driver class path name for MySQL Java connections. If we are connecting to our JDBC or Java program to DBMS, then we can use this class name. Next, the important thing, we need to open a connection. Actually, this is the path, this is a way between Java applications and DBMS. So in order to get the connection, we are using getConnection method of driver class manager. We have already discussed the driver manager. That's a class which handle all the drivers. So we can use the get connection method of driver manager class to establish a connection. All the remaining communication is in between this Java and DBMS is through these connection objects. Then another, the syntax of connection is, that is get connection. We should provide 3 parameters, that is URL, the name of the DBMS and the password. Actually the URL is the appropriate, the actual path of DBMS. The next one is name, means the username of the DBMS, and last one is password. Actually the Java program need to connect to this DBMS. So it require the name of the database and the username and the password to access this database. Next one is create statement. The fourth step is to create a statement. Actually we need to execute our DBMS queries. So we need to create the object of statement interface. By using the statement objects and methods, we can execute our query in our DBMS platform, and the result will return to our Java applications. Then we can move on to the syntax of create statement. That is create statement objects. It throws SQL exceptions. We can give an example. That is statement stmt equal to con.create statement. Actually con is the object of connection. By using the object of connection, we can create a statement. Then the statement is handle all the execution of DBMS queries. We have different types of methods for executing queries, like execute, update, and execute query. We can use any of this method based on the nature of SQL query we are going to execute. Then next step is extract data from DBMS. For this, we are using the object of result set interface. The result set will handle all the data retrieved from our database. The last step of JDBC connection is closing the connection object. By closing the connection object, we can close the statement object result set. The main purpose of close statement is to relinquish all the resources and all the memories held by the JDBC applications. So by calling the close function or calling the close methods, we can relinquish our resources. That's all for today. Thank you.